ठीक है ना?
नाम बरोबर टाक.
नाम कैसे चेंज करूं?
राइट. नाही आपल्या शॉप हो का? तेरे पास ये कंट्रोल होगा ना उसका वैसा वाला नहीं है. अरे नहीं है तो तेरे को ही करना है. राइट. हो गया ऑल सेटअप.
International Journal of Advanced Research and Computer Society of India. If we knew that what it was we were doing, it would not be called research, would it? It is an occasion like this, we get opportunities to test our knowledge and understanding. We look forward to get an exposure about what the best of the brains think about the different issues. On this momentous occasion, it is our proud privilege and fortune to welcome our chief guest, Dr. Surah Sharma sir, Assistant Professor, Department of CSC, IIIT, Bhubaneswar, Orissa. And guest of honor, Dr. S.S. Sane sir, Vice Principal, K.K. Wagh College of Engineering, Nashik. President of today's function, our Principal, Dr. G.V. Thakre sir, Dr. A.N. Thakre sir, HOD, Computer Department, convener of today's function. Professor S.N. Tagadkar sir, co-convener, and Dr. R.D. Thakre sir, organizing secretary. Light symbolizes knowledge and divinity. It not only dispels darkness, but also illuminates our souls. I request our dignitaries to take blessings of Saraswati and kindle the auspicious lamp to embark on today's proceedings, and then please occupy their seats on the dais. Please, sir. I request our chief guest and guest of honor to please take the blessings of Goddess Saraswati on the virtual mode. Flowers are the bounty of nature, which express humility and tenderness of human emotions. They reflect both warmth and welcome. I request Dr. Sir and Dr. Sami sir to accept our bouquet virtually as an expression of our affection and reverence. Please accept our floral welcome virtually, sir. It's the tradition of our BD college to welcome the guest with a khadi rumal. For this, I take this opportunity to request Professor Tukkar sir to welcome the president of today's function, our principal, Dr. G.V. Thakre sir. Thank you, sir. May I would like to call upon Professor S.D. Jilpe sir to welcome Dr. A.N. Thakre sir, HOD, Computer Department and Convener. Thank you, sir. I would like to call Professor Nikar sir to welcome Professor S.N. Dagadkar sir, co-convener of today's event. Now I would like to request Professor Hingnikar sir to welcome Dr. R.D. Thakre sir, organizing secretary. Thank you, sir. Now, let us have the pleasure of listening to the opening remarks for this occasion. For this, I would like to invite Dr. A.N. Thakre sir, convener of today's event. Please, sir.
Thank you, madam. Good morning to all. Good morning to the dignitaries on the dais. The president of the function, our respected principal, Dr. G.V. Thakre sir, the co-convener of the national conference, Professor S.N. Dagadkar sir, the organizing secretary, Dr. R.D. Thakre sir, the editor-in-chief, Dr. Girish Korde sir, and all my faculty members, delegates, participants, all the coordinators, tracking charges present over here. I welcome you all on behalf of the National Conference NCISEM. Myself, Dr. N. Thakre, convener of National Conference on Innovations of Science, Engineering and Management 2022. On behalf of Bapurao Deshmukh College of Engineering, Sevagram, I welcome you all, respected dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, and dear participants present over here. Since we have started the motto behind this arranging the national conference from last 4 months, a totally hard work based on that we have do something for our researchers and innovators to give the platform in a virtual mode. Due to the pandemic situation, the conference has been scheduled as per the virtual mode concept. Now it is open. Now it is to be considered as in the both way we can consider online or offline. It's my immense pleasure to be here to share the dais. We, the Bapurao Deshmukh College of Engineering, Sevagram Wardha, Maharashtra, established since 1983 with the objective of teaching is mission, not a profession. Quoted by late Shri Bapurao Deshmukh, the founder member of the BDCE Sevagram. With this mission, we carry forward till date, day by day, and try to apply our ideas in the way of research, innovations, and many such projects. The objective of our conference to provide a platform to the global innovators and researchers in the field of science, engineering, and management, and to contribute the nation's building by exchanging the novel ideas among researchers. Here we gathered the platform which we have achieved after the regular process of last 4 months, so that our researchers get the platform to share some things in the part of their ideas, their innovations. So BDCE always give the chance to share some things. We started the work of the conference from last 4 months. An entire team of all our tracks dedicatedly work hard for the success of this conference. I am happy to share on this dais that our entire team dedicatedly work, and the achievement is that the research, we received the research papers from various areas, especially from the state Kerala, Telangana, Goa, and Maharashtra state. Through the IJAR media, that is the platform through which we can receive the number of papers, and we have started these IJAR concepts in our BDC area, so that every faculties and the students, those who are contributed for this national conference, they know the ideas of how the IJAR work for us dedicatedly and contribute for us. So we take the help of IJAR account, and everyone is aware now and everywhere equally contribute, so that every research paper should be received in proper manner and reviews should be proper manner, and all the reviewers get benefited, so that there is a concept of the sharing concepts. We plan and support it very well, and now everyone is aware of IJAR account. Our faculties and respective delegates, which is contributed for this national conference very well. We received 122 papers of various tracks of applied sciences, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, electronics and telecommunication engineering, computer science and engineering, and electrical engineering and MBA track. Out of that, 103 papers we have reviewed and accepted, and that from the dedicated part of contribution of entire reviewers from different institutes, they have shared their number of reviews as per the papers they received and we have reviewed from them. At the last, as per the last date, we have received the 84 papers as a registered papers to present the papers in the today's program. The papers are reviewed papers, design papers, and result-oriented papers. I am happy to share that the conference is organized in association with professional chapter, which is we have started in since 2009. That is the Computer Society of India. We work for them as a professional chapter, and many students and the faculty members are the members of this CSI. So in association with CSI, we dedicatedly work for all the activities. And of course, here also, the 2 days national conference we have conducted with association with Computer Society of India, and our guidance, regular guidance from our guest of honor of today's program, that is Dr. S.S. Sani, Sir, Vice Principal of KK College of Engineering, Nasik, and he is the former member of CSI, Vice President of Region 6 of Maharashtra and Goa section. So in association with them, we have worked with, and now the day comes. We have also association with the journal, that is International Journal of Advanced Research, with ISSN 23205409. Also, we got the ISBN number for the national conference proceedings. So all the papers which I have presented today and participated and accepted papers will be published in conference proceeding. And after the today's and tomorrow's presentation, and the reviewers, or you can say the jury members, whatever they provide, the recommendation for the presented papers for the journal recommendation, according to that we proceed for the journal publication, that is the special issues for our conference NCISEM 2022. With this carry forward, as per recommendation, we will definitely do work hard with the help of Editor-in-Chief, Dr. Girish Korde. The program, the keynote speakers and the jury members are from various institutes. They have contributed and helpful for us for the success of National Conference NCISEM. In the applied science has the session 1, electrical engineering has a 1 session, mechanical engineering track has a 2 sessions, civil engineering has a 2 sessions. On 11th March, means today. On tomorrow, on 12th March, the computer science and engineering track and of 3 sessions, and electronics and telecommunication has 2 sessions, which we have planned on 11th and 12th March 2022. The various jury members and keynote speakers who have helped us for to grace our function. So on behalf of National Conference, for the Department of Computer Engineering, for session 1 keynote and jury member Dr. Shrikant Sonekar sir, and internal jury member is Dr. S.W. Moore. Session 2 jury member is Session Dangnane sir, Pankaj Ladda, College of Engineering, Buldana. And for session 3, Dr. Snehal Golait madam from Priyadarshini College of Engineering, Nagpur. For Department of Electronics and Telecommunication, the keynote and jury members Dr. Chetan Kamble, SERB, is a postdoctorate member from SRTMU, Nanded, and internal jury member Professor P.R. Indulkar sir. Session 2, jury member Professor S.P. Badar from Shegaon College of Engineering, Shegaon, and internal jury member is Dr. G.D. Korde sir. For the track 2, Department of Electrical Engineering, session 1, there is a jury member and keynote speaker Professor Shailesh Vatekar, and internal jury member Dr. J.B. Fulgele madam. For track 5, Department of Civil Engineering, Session 1, Keynote and Jury Member Dr. Hemant Sunkusre, sir. He is from Gujarat, and internal member Dr. S.G. Makarand, sir. For Session 2, Jury Member Dr. O.P. Sapate, sir, from PL JCOE, Nagpur, and internal member Professor M.M. Lohe, sir. Department of Mechanical Engineering, Track 4, the Session 1, Keynote Jury Member is Dr. Girish Mehta, sir, from Priyadarshini College of Engineering, and internal jury member Dr. R.R. Gawande. Session 2, jury member is Professor P.V. Jadhav from same Priyadarshini College of Engineering, and internal member is Professor S.M. Fulmai, sir. For Department of Applied Sciences, the Session 1, Keynote jury member Dr. K.G. Revatkar, sir, from Ambedkar College, Nagpur, and internal jury member Dr. Mrs. K.S. Sawant, madam. For track 6, Department of MBA is also planned for this session. So this is the all jury members and keynote speakers who have contributed and share their dais in this platform. Lastly, on very short period, I have requested our chief guest, Dr. Surah Sharma, sir. He is the assistant professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering from IIIT Bhubaneswar, and his resume is very strong. And as per the very first request, they have ready to contribute their keynote talk in today's dais. And also the Dr. S.S. Sane, sir, that they have given a time for a contribute in this platform. So lastly, I would like to thank all the track members, Professor A.P. Tupkar, sir, from Mechanical, Professor Hingnikar, sir, from Electronics and Telecommunication, Professor Nikhar, sir, from Civil Engineering, Professor R.P. Khate, madam, from Computer Science and Engineering, Professor Kode, madam, from Applied Sciences, for their regular support for the success of this conference. Also, I thankful to our entire team of coordinators, Professor A.R. Vedkar, sir, A.D. Gotmare, sir, A.R. Dandekar, sir, and organizing secretary, Professor Dr. R.D. Thakre, sir, and co-convener, Professor S.N. Dagadkar, sir, and editor-in-chief, Dr. G.D. Kode, sir, for their regular support for successful conduction of this event. And of course, lastly, my dear student, also I'm thankful to you that they have in very short period, they have created for virtual mode, online mode for all the participants, those who are not present over here, so that we can share the dais on YouTube live that is going on presently. So lastly, I thanks to all our management, Shri Samir Deshmukh, our principal Dr. G.V. Thakre, sir, for their regular support and motivation for contributing such type of event in this our BDC platform, and definitely all the head of the department, Professor M.N. Thakre, sir, Professor Dr. M.J. Sheikh, sir, then Dr. P.S. Sawant, madam, Dr. K.S. Kedar, sir, then Professor Vingare, sir, and all the in charges. So this is all a brief about today's our national conference. So I hope that our today's program will be successful with the very much helpful from all the faculties, students, and delegates. So with this few words, I thankful to all and thank you very much. So I thankful again, lastly, our chief guest and guest of honor for grace the function of today's programs. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your opening remarks. Now I would like to give the brief introduction about our today's guest of honor, Professor Sirish Sane, sir. Dr. Sirish Sane, sir, is presently working as the Vice Principal in KK Walk College of Engineering, Nashik. Professor Sane, sir, has completed his bachelor's degree in computer engineering from Pune Institute of Computer Technology in the year 1987. He obtained his master's degree MTech in CSC from Indian Institute of Technology, IIT, Mumbai in the year 1995. He is the first candidate being awarded the PhD in computer engineering from SPPU, formerly known as University of Pune. His passion towards the field of education, he joined the KK Walk Institute of Engineering, Education and Research formerly called the KK Work College of Engineering, Nashik, in the year 1988. Since then, he is working as the head of the Department of Computer Engineering Department. He is also the member of Board of Directors of KK Work Education Society. Sirish Sane sir is the recipient of the Best Teacher Award by Lions Club Nashik in the year 1999 and Panchvati Sarvajanik Vachanalaya Nashik in 2012. He has provided expert guidance for Sinhasta Kumbh Mela Setu project, double entry accounting system for Nashik Municipal Corporation, CBS solution for Namco Bank, Nashik, Center for Education Development and Technology, Aurangabad, and Regional Referral Government Hospital, Nashik. He is the member of various professional bodies. He has worked as chairman for CSI, Nashik chapter, and worked as the regional student coordinator for CSI Region 6. Currently, he is working as regional vice president for Region 6, Maharashtra and Goa. He is also approved as a PhD guide and postgraduate teacher. He was the author of 2 textbooks. He has more than 60 research papers published at the national and international conferences and journals. He has worked as a visiting faculty and also worked as a resource person for the short-term training programs for teachers. With this brief introduction, I would heartily welcome today's guest of honor, Dr. Sane sir, to influence us with his words. Please, sir.
Am I audible? Can you hear me? Fine, thank you. Thanks for this introduction and inviting me here in the inaugural program of this conference. The chief guest of this function, Dr. Surah Sharma from IIIT Bhubaneswar, Dr. G.V. Thackeray, the principal of this college, Dr. A.N. Thackeray, the convener of this particular conference, the panel of judges, CSI members, faculty members, all heads of the departments, participants, and student friends. At the outset, let me congratulate this college, Bapurao Deshmukh College of Engineering, Sevagram Wardha, for organizing the conference, the 2 days national level conference, NCISEM 2022. I feel that the name which is given to this conference is very apt. National Conference for Innovation in Science, Engineering and Management. Friends, for so many years we are talking about STEM, and I'm really happy that the AIM Science and Engineering are joining hands. Not only this, different branches of engineering itself, they are joining hands together. I was very happy when came to know about various tracks, and this is not a single track conference. Although there are multiple tracks, each track is devoted to the stream, unique stream of engineering, may it be mechanical, civil, computer science, ENTC, management, most importantly, the basic sciences. So this is what is really a good thing that we are talking about interdisciplinary kind of thing, and this is a good beginning. It reminds me around 30 years back when I presented my first paper in one of the ISBN conferences that was organized, and it was a very enjoyable experience when I could share a little bit of ideas. I was little young at that time, but the joy which I got during my presentation of my paper, I could still remember. And more importantly, the inputs that I received from the panel of judges and other audience was very useful for them. Conferences like this, as you know, provide an excellent platform for all of us, the researchers, people from industry, and even our young students, friends, to exchange their ideas with all of us. And it gets a chance. I always look after conferences like this because it gives an opportunity to interact and find out the best practices from various organizations. Although Corona is now almost gone, but we have learned a lot. And the conferences like this in years to come or decades to come will be organized in the this blended manner only. It's really a thing which all of us have learned, and I must thank the entire team of this conference for successfully organizing the conference in a very. We were told by the convener around 100 plus papers were received, accepted, and 84 people over the 2 days will be presenting these ideas. And our judges will be providing the further inputs on this particular thing. The review process was followed. I know the pains that are carried out in the review process. Must thank to Girish Korde for doing this thankless job because it is very, very much critical. And I'm sure now these papers which will be presented will go into the proceedings of this conference, as well as some select papers will go on to the journal as well. I must congratulate. I was also happy that this conference was organized in association with Computer Society of India, the student branch. I know that this college long back has established the student branch of Computer Society of India. I believe it was in the year 2009. And since then, a lot of activities are being conducted. In fact, CSI was established in the year 1965, and it was the first professional body as far as IT industry in India is concerned. There are around 80 plus chapters spread over the entire country and around 600 plus student branches. This branch at this college is one of them. More than 15,000 professional members and 1 lakh students are members of Computer Society of India. The entire country, for the sake of administration purpose, has been divided into 7 regions, and we come, Maharashtra and Goa fall under region 6. There is an international chapter also to have international activities. I'm very happy that CSI from its beginning has got the advice from visionary people, both from academics as well as industries. There are great names. I won't go into each and every one. But the point is, today we are talking about computing, field of computing is in limelight. And every 6 months, we come across a new technology. Even AICT has taken the notice of this and come up with emerging areas. And may it be cyber security, may it be IoT, machine learning, data analytics, cloud computing, quantum computing, and the list is just endless. So, Computer Society of India, long back, if I am not mistaken, in the era of 1995 or 2000, has formed what is called as SIG, Special Interest Groups. I am very happy that the vision that these people who led Computer Society of India in the era of 2000, they came up with the idea of special interest groups in data science, IoT, and cyber security, and so on and so forth. That is what is the professional body, and our student friends and the faculty members, they are taking the advantage of this kind of professional societies. And this conference, which is going to happen for 2 days, will be an intellectual feast for all of us. And the papers will be presented. Normally, this is research-oriented papers, and we expect a deliberation discussions after each presentation. And I'm sure each one of us can contribute with their own ideas. Who knows, some idea is really helpful to the researchers. This is what happens when I was doing my research. I still remember one of the conference in Chandigarh where I was presenting a paper, and I got some input from the jury, but from one corner a student asked a question, and that triggered, yes, this is a very valid point as far as my research at that time was concerned. That is what is the value of conferences like this. Friends, I extend all the best wishes to each of the participants for presenting their papers, and I'm sure it will be a good value addition, not only to the presenter, but also to all the stakeholders. Once again, I congratulate this college for organizing a conference of this diversity, and it will be a great success. Lastly, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me and share a little bit about CSI. Best wishes to all, a very good day. And I close my remark by saying CSI was formed in 1965 on 6th of March. And so even though 6th of March is gone, we celebrate countrywide the foundation day of CSI as a IT day on 6th of March. Being one of the small worker in the field of information technology, kindly accept my congratulations on this IT day. Thank you. I stop my speech here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your words of wisdom, sir. It's our pleasure for listening you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. With this, I would like to request our Honorable Principal, sir, Dr. G.V. Thackeray, sir, to share his words on this occasion. Please, sir.
Thank you, madam. Dignitaries on the dais, dignitaries of the dais, and the young minds, I can say the brain behind this conference, and the organizing team, and the convener. The chief guest of today's function, Dr. Surah Sharma, sir, Assistant Professor, Department of CSE, IIIT, Bhubaneswar, Odisha. Guest of honor, the eminent personality, Dr. S.S. Sane, Vice Principal, K.K. Wag, College of Engineering, Nashik, and former CSI Vice President, Maharashtra and Goa region. And also, as mentioned by Dr. Iot Thackeray, the mentor for this conference and the other activities also. Convener of this conference, Dr. Iot Thackeray, Head of the Department, Computer Engineering. Co-convener, Professor S.N. Dagadkar, Organizing Secretary, Dr. R.D. Thakre, all the heads of the department, section in charges, session coordinators, faculty members who are joined virtually, the organizing team of this conference, the members of various committees, students member of these various committees, and all the minds behind this conference. I would like to request you all to have a clap for this, all these organizers. This conference in a hybrid mode. Offline but virtual. It itself is a piece of innovation or the technology transfer, if I can say, or I can see in a different way. What else is required? This is what is expected in the campus or in the technical campus by the student for the society and for the universe. So it's really fantastic to share the dais on this occasion. It is a National Conference on Innovation in Science, Engineering and Management, NCISEM 2022. In association with IJAR and CSI, we all are witnessing the different threads out of this conference. This is not only the platform for the researchers and the innovators to showcase their ideas and their work. It's a piece of organization, it's a piece of delivery, it's a piece of transfer of technology. And definitely, it's a new era and a new journey in the campus here onwards for the events of like that. In fact, it's an era of innovation and startup. Everyone is talking about the innovations and startup, and we are witnessing it, knowingly or unknowingly. It's an era of hackathon, it's an era of ideathon. It's an era of IPR. And such a type of the platforms inspire and motivate the new minds how to follow the researchers and the innovators who make themselves presentable at the global level. So really, it's fantastic. It also inspired the students and the other departments and the faculty members and everyone how the student chapter can contribute for the development of the students at the global level. It's not for the sake of just the registration that I am the member of so and so. But in reality, it gives us a different dimensions to the student personality, irrespective of all the odds. As far as the student development in the campus is concerned, the ultimate outcome is nothing but to create, to produce, to innovate. There are certain steps. At the first step, we try to remember by recalling the fundamentals. Then we try to understand by explaining the different things. Then analyze, apply. But the final outcome is nothing but after evaluation, it's to create, to present, to demonstrate, to innovate. And therefore, it's really a proud moment for you and me and all the youngsters. Now we have the one platform where we can showcase the final outcome of our students, where we can enjoy, where we can analyze, where we can present the final outcome of our academics or curriculum of the 4 years curriculum, at least, and the 2-year curriculum of the post graduation. I'm really happy, or I can say I am really more than happy. The last year, Dr. Iot Thackeray has consulted with me. He had a dream with him. So we have such type of the platform, and that should be the hybrid platform for all the branches with the quality, without compromising with the quality. That is very essential. Because the events is not the matter, but the event with the quality is the matter, the quantity is the different thing. Quantity doesn't matter. And now this conference, everyone witnessed, yes, this is a hybrid mode in virtual and offline mode, but everything is in association with the quality. And the quality consciousness is very important in every aspect. Without quality, there is no life of anything else. Students and all organizers, and we also witnessed, yes, it's a piece of quality, and yes, I can say that it's a conference which we had hosted and initiated in 2022. In spite of the limited resources, in spite of the various difficulties, that is needless to mention here, it's not easy to present such a type of the work, and this is possible because of the teamwork behind the organizing team like you and all these things. So definitely you all are deserve to congratulate in every aspect. Because to arrange the conference, there are many aspects that has been mentioned in the convener's forwards. So I will stop myself. I really congratulate all the team members, all the researchers, all the innovators, all the young minds, all the members of organizing committee, and the different committee members for making this conference a grand gala success. I am damn sure that the researchers and the innovators and the publishers will deliberate themselves for the 2 days and will enjoy the 2 days on this platform of NCISEM 2022. I forget to mention that while I am sitting over there, I was observing this youngster. Though the tripod is having some restrictions and the limitations to broadcast something or someone who is on the podium, very fantastically he has barred his limitations by something else. This is what is the expected through these conferences and through these events. This could be identified as a problem for the next generations without adding the cost. This is what is the outcome of such a type of conferences. I would be more than happy if the outcome of this conference would be there in the form of patents, at least for the 1 or 2, 3 patents from every department, and that we will celebrate in the next event immediately. There are the certain students, those who have filed themselves, rigorous follow-up of the students. I've forgotten her name, but she has taken the clear follow-up of it, though it was a pandemic days. So these are the outcomes for what we are here. And really, it's a happy moment that within the limited resources and within this such a type of the critical situation, you all are the hands in hand and make these functions a very grand gala success before the students. I will stop myself and say thank you for all the entire team of this and the young minds behind this, because without themselves it would not possible. I can understand. So thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your words of appreciation, sir. Thank you, sir. I would like to request all the dignitaries to take their seat, to occupy their seats off the dais, please. It's my privilege to introduce today's chief guest, Dr. Surah Sharma, sir. Dr. Surah Sharma, sir, presently working as Assistant Professor, Computer Science Engineering Department, International Institute of Information Technology, IIIT, Bhubaneswar, Orissa. Dr. Surah Sharma, sir, has completed his bachelor's degree in CSC, Ravi Shankar Shukla University, Raipur in 2006. He obtained his master's degree, MTech, in CSC from National Institute of Technology, Rourkela in 2009. He awarded his PhD in computer engineering from NIT Rourkela in 2016. His main objectives are exceptionally motivated on the cutting edge technologies in the area of Internet of Things, wireless sensor networks, object localization, edge computing and Internet of Things security, blockchain, cyber security, and cloud computing. A performance-oriented researcher having over 10 years of research experience in the above mentioned areas. Also, a sincere team player with sound knowledge in analytic and problem-solving skills. He played many roles as guest faculty in many colleges, guest editor for many books, as a guest speaker, as a resource person, and as a keynote speaker in many colleges and institutes, and as a program coordinator, etc. He attended many workshops and also taken some additional responsibilities in administration. He also developed some projects and he was the author of 2 books. He was the owner of the Smart City IIIT Bhubaneswar organization in GitHub, under which he have released the code with name Smart City and Homepage for Internet of Things and Cloud Computing Lab in Python and HTML. Under his name, there are 4 patents. He was PhD supervisor and guided 5 students. He published many research papers in international and national journals. First of all, I am very sorry, sir. Your 13 pages biodata, I have reduced it to 1 page. I really sorry, sir. We rarely get this kind of opportunity to listen to the words of a great knowledgeable speaker. With this brief introduction, I would heartily welcome our esteemed chief guest to initiate his keynote address. Please, sir.
Thank you very much for your kind introduction. And thank you very much for inviting me for the national conference on innovation in science, engineering, and management 2022 by the BDCE College and with the help of Computer Society of India. So in this, I would not say much about the conferences and all. I think the guest of honor has already conveyed you, and the principal sir has already told many things related to it. So I'll jump into my talk, and what I am looking forward to give it this talk is because, see, I belongs to the computer science background, and I hope there are the many other branches, students are also available, the researchers, the faculty members. So I'll make it very researcher who want to pursue their work in that particular area would get the idea about what is happening in the area which I am talking about. So let me share the screen. So I hope it is visible to all of you. In today's era, we talk about ITC, then we have the security, the IoT, blockchain, cloud computing, machine learning, data sciences. So all those are different area which is booming right now. We have another technique like deep learning and all. Based on that, we have computer vision, and the many company like Tesla have already implemented those things in their cars. We have renewable energy, that how we can make those renewable energy worth for the society. So there are many different research areas that anybody can work on. Right now, two of my scholars are working in this particular area, which is called blockchain. I have attached with the IoT for I think for 6-7 years. So I have the expertise in IoT. We have the IoT as well as cloud computing lab in IIIT, which I have established. And we slowly done the focus on this particular area like blockchain. And we are in like how we can integrate the blockchain with the IoT. So here in this particular talk, I would like to take you to the journey of blockchain, because many of you have heard this particular technology. Many of you have worked on this particular technology, I hope. And I want to give you the possibility that how this technology will be taken over with other technologies. So this will be my brief discuss on what I am going to deliver. So let's start with the quick way to blockchain. So this is our current banking system that we all know, right? And in this current banking system, when we want to transfer the amount from one bank to another bank, we have some charges that we have to give. Let's assume that there is a person called Bob, and Bob want to transfer some amount to Tina. So Tina resides in India and Bob is in US. There are many banks like India. In India, we have different banks. And in one of the bank, there is an account of the Bob. And there are some central bank. Like for us, we have the RBI. The RBI, which is a central bank, you can say the authorized bank, which will authorize other bank to be processed and to do and deliver their money transfer and all. So it will be a monetary institution that has been made for all the banks. Just like in USA, let's say we have some federal bank. This is the central bank, which is managing all the other banks in USA. So let's say Bob want to transfer, let's assume $1,000 to Tina. And so what is the process here? So let's say the Bob has requested his bank need to transfer. So this bank will give this particular request to the federal bank. Now this federal bank will update its ledger. And then this federal bank will convey this request to the RBI or the central bank, and through the central bank, it will reach to the designated bank. So in this particular process, as we all know that there are many personnel who are working in the bank who are updating the ledger. What are the deposited money? What are the withdrawal money and all those things? The federal bank also has to maintain their ledger. And ultimately, the RBI has also has to measure, and the taxes and all are involved here. So let's assume that we have some charges. Let's say the transaction charges are there. Let's say 1% is the transaction charges. We have, let's assume that we have some sort of commission. Let's say it is also 1% of the commission. So total, let's say 2% has been taken care. And we have some taxes also. Some sort of tax will also be applied. So if we forgot the tax and if we have this 2%, so it is around how much? It is around $20, let's say, has been taken from this $1,000. If we'll have this type of phenomena here. So you see the amount of transaction fee and the commission that has been taken in between is very high. So this type of problem has been addressed by an organization. And in 2008, a white paper came. And that the heading of this paper is Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. This is the name of this white paper, and under the name of Satoshi Nakamoto. Definitely, it is not the name of any person who exists in Earth, right? So it is the anonymous name. And this paper has been published. In this paper, they have talked about the possibility of the Bitcoin and how this will be in existence, how it will work, how much Bitcoin could be generated. All those things has been mentioned in this particular paper. So this is published in 2008. And in 2009, we have Bitcoin in existence. So Bitcoin launched in 2009, again under the anonymous name of Satoshi Nakamoto. And it has been working under the blockchain technology. Now, to understand what is the blockchain technology, let's first understand that how this Bitcoin works. So there are some key features of Bitcoin that we need to understand. The first is the Bitcoin is a digital currency, also called cryptocurrency, created in January 2009. Bitcoin offers the promise of lower transaction fee than traditional online payment mechanism and is operated by the decentralized authority, unlike government issued currency. So this particular thing we already know that this is in our budget also they have mentioned about this type of cryptocurrency that will be what we can say released by the RBI. But that has been already done in 2009, this particular. And in this particular Bitcoin, that we know that this is a cryptocurrency, so it cannot be printed, right? And there is a limitation of the Bitcoin, like only 21 million Bitcoin could be created. So this is the limitation that we are talking about. And it used the decentralized and distributed ledger system known as the Bitcoin with peer-to-peer network. Now, this particular technology is working in the decentralized and distributed version of the system, as well as it used the peer-to-peer phenomena or peer-to-peer network. So to understand these three things, let's quickly go into the next slide. So this is a shot of centralized network where we talk about the flow of communication will be done by the central entity. All the data that we need to have should be stored in this particular central server or central entity. Now here what will happen is when this particular central server or central entity has been failed, so whole system will be failed. So there is a one point of failure, single point of failure, and that is creating the problem. So we move on to decentralized network where there are some entities who is having the copy of those data that will be stored. So that if one point will be failed, we have other point from where we can recover the data, and we can other system can join that particular nodes in the network. Now let's come to distributed network. Here what will happen is all nodes are connected to another node. It is just like a mesh network, but here we use this particular distributed network to take the decision about the network in a collaboration manner. So in a collaborative way, if we'll take the decision towards the network, so we use this type of network. This is called distributed network. So decentralized is mainly for the storage, and distributed is mainly for coming into one decision or one results for the network. So in the blockchain technology, we use decentralized and distributed network, as well as we use the concept of peer-to-peer network. So here peers are nothing but a system, a node, and all other peer will be connected with each other. Now here we use the peers in the distributed and decentralized network. And here what we why we use this particular peer-to-peer network is because there is a concept in peer-to-peer network like we can share the resources with other peers in the network. So because we are sharing our resources with other peers in the network, so it is helping us to build the blockchain. Now let's talk about this peer-to-peer and try to understand it. The only requirement of computer to join peer-to-peer network is the internet connection and peer-to-peer software. So it required these two things, means it required the peer-to-peer network and it required peer-to-peer software. Now, till now you got some doubt like what is peer-to-peer network and how it is helping in the blockchain or towards the Bitcoin, which is built in the blockchain technology. So the peer-to-peer software is just like this. Let's assume that we have this Microsoft server and there are some standalone systems. These standalone systems want to update their software, their operating system. So let's say there is a release of the new operating system by these Microsoft, and let's say this is computer number 1. It is connected with the Microsoft server and it get that updation. Now in the Microsoft, the latest version of the Microsoft operating systems, they have the peer-to-peer software on it. So it is the built-in with the operating system itself. Now why they have done that is, let's say they want to update and they want to connect with the Microsoft server. So what they do is the first computer, let's say, has been connected and let's say the second computer also need the same requirement. So because the peer-to-peer software is already there, it can also be connected with the other peer in the network through the internet and the Microsoft server itself. So the load of the Microsoft server has been released by half, means half of the system, half of the download will be done from computer number 1 and half of the done from the server. Let's say the third computer also need the same requirements. So what it will do is it will contact with the peers, let's say this peer and this peer, as well as it will contact with the Microsoft server. So here the Microsoft server load has been done, reduced by, let's say, and only the load is 33%. So the whole phenomena here that has been applied into the peer-to-peer network is that the server load could be reduced and all other peer can help each other for these type of requirement. So I hope you understood what is the meaning of peer here. The same thing will happen to the blockchain network where we talk about different peers. So the peer-to-peer network look like this and server-based network look like this. Now, why blockchain? Okay. So the one thing that I always talk is the blockchain will reduce the cost. Why it will reduce the cost is because it is a collaboration version of the node in the network. They will give their resources so that other nodes can take the decision, as well as for the storage also. So ultimately it is utilizing the resources of different peer in the network, and ultimately it will reduce the cost. The increase the speed, whatever transaction will do, it will increases the speed. It is having a better security aspect. It can reduce the fraud as well as it can reduce the risk. So let's see that what are the things that can do all those advantages in the blockchain. So when we talk about the blockchain is a decentralized and distributed peer-to-peer network. So we have seen about the decentralized, we have seen about the distributed, and it is also a peer-to-peer network. No single authority controls and no single place process the information. So no single authority. There is nothing like the RBI or a central authority who will manage the whole network. And there is no single place where all the information will be processed. So just like a democratic network, the blockchain works. So let's talk about this blockchain and how it will be and what are the different properties of it. So blockchain is just like a distributed ledger. Ledger is nothing but here we talk about the log that has been maintained. The log of the transactions. The log of the transactions here are called ledger. And these ledgers we keep in the form of blocks. And each block will have some sort of connectivity. Each block will have some sort of connectivity that is called chain. That's why it is called blockchain. So in this particular blocks, we have some information. The first information is in the block is the data. Okay. Here the data are nothing but the number of transactions or the different transaction that has been take place. So here the data are, let's say we have, let's say transaction 1, transaction 2, transaction 3. In that way, we have n number of transaction that will be taken care as a data here. Then we have a concept called hash. I'll let you know about what do you mean by hash. And there is another data that will be there in the block, which is called the hash of the previous block. The hash of the previous block. So the data here are nothing but the transactions. Then we have the hash and we have the hash of the previous block. Now, let's say about the data. So what is a data? Data would be like the information about the transaction. Like this is the sender, this is the receiver, this is the sender, this is the receiver, and this is the amount that we are talking about. So the sender is sending some amount to the receiver, and that an amount has been mentioned, and this information is nothing but one data. So this is one transaction, you can say. So this is, let's say, transaction 1. So in that way, we have a number of transactions that can be the part of the data here in the block. Now, if we'll talk about the hash, what do you mean by hash? Hash is nothing but, you can say like, let's say we have the data. This particular data is, let's say, 10 MB. The data is, let's say, 10 MB. What we do is we give this particular data to a hash algorithm. This particular hash algorithm will provide the hash value. Okay, hash value. It is also called message digest. This particular hash value, is it of fixed size? And the data could be anything. So I told you, like, let's assume the data is 10 MB. It may be 20 MB, it may be 30 MB, it may be 1 GB, it may be 2 GB, it may be even 16 bit or 32 bit. We doesn't have to worry about it, what data we are giving. The hash algorithm always give you the hash value, which is a fixed size. And the beauty of the hash is, from the hash, you cannot generate the data. So it is a one-way function. The hash algorithm or a hash function is a one-way function, which is generating the fixed size value or fixed size digest of the message that we are providing here in the hash algorithm. So that is called hash. And hash is very important in terms of the blockchain technology. So if we have this data, the whole block, and the whole block for the whole block is nothing but the data, right? This whole block, when we provide into the hash algorithm, it will give me some hash value. But for the different block, let's say the block has been changed. So the hash value is also going to be changed. Now in the hash, it is not like if we have changed the 1 bit, it is only going to change the 1 bit in the hash value. No. If we have changed 1 bit in the data, it is going to change whole entire bit of the hash. So that is the beauty of hash. And the previous hash value that from the other block. So with the help of previous hash, we are going to connect with the new hash, and in that way we create the chain. So without the hash of the previous block, we cannot provide the chain. That is the thing. So we need the hash of the previous block to create the next block. In that way, when we traverse, we can traverse backward. And we can see what are the data and what are the links in between the data in this particular block. Now here comes some property of the block. So let's say that for the first block, which is called Genesis block, for the first block of the blockchain, which is called Genesis block, because here we doesn't have any previous block. So the Genesis block, we doesn't have the previous block, right? And this is the hash of this particular block. This particular hash will be used by the second block as a previous hash, as you can see. And this is the hash of this particular block will be used for the next block as a previous block. So in that way, this is the way how they are connected with each other. So this node number 3 is connected, or block number 3 is connected to block number 2 with this. And the block number 2 is connected with block number 1 with this. So as I told you, the first block is called Genesis block because here we doesn't have the previous block information. Now here, if any attacker will be there and it want to change any of the value in the hash, so in any of the value in the data, so hash value is also going to change. Let's say it has been changed this. So because this hash will be used for the previous hash, so we have to again change the hash of this particular, and we have to put that particular hash value here. So if we have to put the hash value here, we have to manipulate to the next block also. So in that way, what will happen is other node in the block will get to know that there is some problem with the malicious node who has changed the block because of this hash value. So in that way, the node who is doing any type of mischief or any type of malicious thing will be removed from the network by the other node in the network. So because of this property, we say that the blockchain, whatever data we put into the blockchain is immutable. We cannot mutate it. Mutation is not at all possible if we have used the block into the blockchain. Now let's see the whole process of the mining in the blockchain, whole process, how it will be done. So the whole process is showing in that particular diagram. We can understand it very easily. The first thing is when anyone, let's say the Bob, want to send some Bitcoin to Alec. Let's say the Bob want to send some Bitcoin to Alec. So what Bob will do? Bob will initiate its transaction. And in the transaction, there will be the information of the sender. There will be the information of the receiver, as well as there will be the information of the Bitcoin or the amount. So let's say here we have 3 Bitcoin that need to be transferred. Now the whole thing will be signed by Bob. So it will do a digital signature here. Now this digital signature or this particular transaction will be enter into the system. Now system will verify the authentication of node number B or the Bob who has initiated the transaction by looking for the signature, if the signature is matched with the Bob signature or not. So it will do a digital signature with the help of the private key, and the public key will be used to verify it. After the verification of this particular transaction, the transaction will be stored into the transaction pool, that is called transaction pool. So let's say we have transaction 1, transaction 2, transaction 3. In that way, we have number of transactions into the transaction pool. Once the transaction pool have the transactions around, the size of the transaction is around 1 MB. So the system, the blockchain system will create a block. So a block will be created. And this block will have these transactions. This is a type of data. And there is a header also in the block. So block has one part is the whole transactions and the header. We'll talk about header later. So let's assume that a block has been created. This particular block will be given to other miners in the block. So there are different miners who will verify this particular block. So for that, the block will be distributed among the miners. Now, there are some consensus algorithm. Consensus means there will be the agreement on some result. As I told you, in the peer-to-peer network, we take the decision in collaboration. So these nodes or these miners who are in the network will verify the node by solving a puzzle. And this puzzle will be described in the consensus algorithm. And here, the consensus algorithm that will be used in the Bitcoin is called proof of work. By solving the puzzle, a miner who solved the first puzzle will give the information to other miners that I have solved it. Other miners will verify the puzzle result, and after verifying, they will convey this information to other miners that yes, this particular miners has done the verification. After verification, the miner who first mined the block, or you can say the validated the block, will be given the award. So the award will be given in the form of, or the reward will be given in the form of Bitcoin. Now, after getting the reward, the block will be added into the blockchain, and all the other node into the blockchain will have this copy of the block. So you see where we have different nodes in the network, millions of trillions of nodes are there in the network. All these nodes have this block, copy of this particular block. All the nodes have their copy of that particular block. And they will add this particular block into the blockchain. So they have their blocks previously. They have their blocks previously of the blockchain. Now the next block that has been added will be added into the blockchain by every node in the network. So every node will have the copy of the block. So you see, even though all the node will have the copy of the block, they cannot change it. They cannot mutate it. That is a beauty of this particular blockchain. And after adding the block into the blockchain, the Bob will receive the Bitcoin. This is the whole process of process mining. So there are different consensus algorithms like proof of work, which is used in the Bitcoin and Ethereum blockchain. Then we have proof of stake, which will use in EOS and Cardano blockchain. Then we have dedicated proof of work will be used. Proof of elapsed time, this is another consensus algorithm. Proof of authority, this is another consensus algorithm. If we'll talk about proof of work, which is used in the Bitcoin, it will it is for the validating the block. It took around 10 minutes. This is the average time of any block to be mined, means this much of time it will take by any miner to solve the puzzle. So Bitcoin will store a multiple machine. Every machine in the block network will have a copy of the blockchain. So every machine means every peer will have the copy of the blockchain. Every node come to the consensus to add the block into the blockchain. So everyone has to be in an agreement mode that yes, this is the block and I want to add it. The only problem here we have is if, let's say, more than 50% of majority will be hacked or will be gone malicious, then there is a possibility that node will be the whole blockchain will be compromised. Or if we have some sort of supercomputer which can hack all those nodes in the network, then there is a possibility like we have the blockchain which will be hacked. So about the peer-to-peer network, we already know. So how this consensus works. So every peer will already have the blockchain. So this is the previous blockchain that they have. If the new block came into the existence, the copy will be given to all the nodes in the network. These nodes are nothing but the miners. The miners will, with the help of consensus algorithm, they will solve a puzzle. The node who solve the first puzzle will get the reward. And after the verification of the block, all the block will be added into the blockchain. It means that all the peer will have these copy of the verified blocks. And this is happened through consensus. So when we talk about the blockchain is a mechanism that allows transaction to be verified by the group of unreliable actors or unreliable node. So this is the beauty of the blockchain. See, if you see this particular sentence, you'll get some laugh, like blockchain is a mechanism that allows transaction to be verified by unreliable actors or unreliable nodes. You see, this is the beauty of the blockchain, that the transaction will be verified by unreliable entities. And that happen into the blockchain. It provides a distributed, immutable, transparent, secure, and auditable ledger. So these are all the property of the blockchain. Means immutable means whatever you put into the blockchain could not be mutated, could not be changed because of those hash and the previous hash. Distributed means all the data are there in the distributed manner by all the peers. Transparent means all the node will see the transaction, what is happening. Everybody can see it. It is transparent. It is public to all. Secure. Why it is secure? Because it cannot be mutated, as well as the whole data could not, a whole system could not be hacked. Auditable, we can easily audit that what is happening, how the transaction will be taken place, who has done the transaction, what are the transaction an entity has done, how many Bitcoin has been generated, who got the Bitcoin, all those things will be auditable, right? So that's why the blockchain has so much popular in that particular aspect. Now there are not one, not two, there are multiple applications of blockchain. You see, all those are different applications of blockchain that we can use. If you'll see some popular applications of blockchain, we can use the blockchain into healthcare applications. We can use the blockchain into the real estate, which I am working on with the project of Odisha government. We can have this land registry. This is also the part of the project. Identification, this is also the part. This is also the research area that we can explore here. Insurance, mobile payment system, banking is there, right? Energy sectors, tourism, waste management. Then we have railways, energy, taxation. Also, we can use the blockchain. So there are different areas that we can explore by taking the help of the blockchain. So let me show you one glimpse of it so that you can understand what I have told you till now. So this is an example of how Bitcoin is. So this is the price of the Bitcoin right now. It has been reduced to 38K US dollar. So one Bitcoin has this particular value right now. Let's see the block. I told you about the block. So this is a block. So this is all the blocks in the blockchain, and you see how this block has been mined. So this block has been mined 20 minutes ago. This has been mined 11 minutes ago. So if we'll take the average of all the mined blocks, so it will be around 10 minutes. So around 10 minutes it will take to mine a block into the Bitcoin blockchain. Then we have miners. So these are the name of the miners who has mined it. And this is the size. So it is in the form of MB. This is the size of the block. Now let's see the block, one block. One block will look like this. In one block, I told you, we have the data and we have the header. So if you'll see here, if you see this particular, this is the hash of that particular block. This is the hash of that particular block. This is the hash, as you can see. Then there is a timestamp, height, who is the miner, name of the transaction, difficulty level. Markle root is another concept that is not going to cover here. And then we have version, bits. These are all headers of the block. Then in the block, we have different transactions. So these are all different transactions. So this is, you can see, this is one transaction. This is another transaction. This is another. So we have different transactions. So this is the timestamp of that particular transactions that has been coming up. And if you'll see this particular block, you can find many transactions. So this is also different transactions that is happening. So this is your, what we can say, this is your block, one block, and how one block will look like. And let's talk about the transaction, how a transaction will look like. So if you see the transaction, one transaction, this is the fee of the transaction. Then we have the this hash of that particular transaction. The transaction is right now unconfirmed because it has not been given or put it into the block. And you will see here we have the hash of that particular block, and then we have the public key of the sender and public key of the receiver. And this is the Bitcoin that has been used for the transfer of from one person to another person. Yes, so this is the address of the sender, and this is the address of the receiver. So one address has been given, that is called public address, so that see, the transaction is visible to all, but we don't know that who has done the transaction. Getting it? All the transactions detail are public. So this is in the public ledger, the transaction amount, time and all, but who has done the transaction, that is not known. So instead of that, some anonymity has been maintained by giving the public address to the Bitcoin user. So if, let's say, you want to be the Bitcoin user, you will get the public address, you will get the private key. So with the help of private key, you initiate the transaction, and with the help of public address, it will be known to the system that this particular person want to transfer the data or transfer the Bitcoin. So this is how your Bitcoin or your transaction is into the blockchain. Now, this is the brief of it, and because it is a very new technology, many company has already adopted it. Many companies are going to adopt this particular technology in their work. So as a researcher, our work is to find out the possibility and find out different applications which is possible in the blockchain. So Now, as we are discussing on integration of blockchain with IoT, so let's talk about IoT in a brief. What is IoT? So IoT, we all know it is an Internet of Things, right? It is an ecosystem of connected physical objects that are accessible through the internet. The thing in IoT could be person with a heart monitoring or an automobile with built-in sensors. Objects that have been assigned an IP address and have the ability to collect and transfer data over the network without manual assistance or intervention. So I'll give you the examples of this IoT. So as this is written, IoT is an ecosystem of connected physical object. So this physical object may be the living or non-living object, right? It may be anything. Now, to make the IoT system, we need any object. Let's say we have a human being, and this human will have a watch which is called a smart watch. In that particular smartwatch, there are many sensors which can sense how many walk you have done, how much calorie you have burned, what is the heart rate right now, what are the health information you have, right? What is your oxygen saturation level? So all those information that this smartwatch will generate. Now this smartwatch, if we are carrying this particular smartwatch, so who is the object? Object will be a human being. So that human being will be the object. And how it is connected with the internet? So this human being with the smartwatch and the mobile phone, it will be connected with the internet. How? So with the help of this smartwatch, many of you have the smartwatch, right? That is a Bluetooth. With the help of Bluetooth, you can connect with your mobile phone. So with the help of Bluetooth, this particular smartwatch will send the data to your mobile phone. And this particular mobile phone will send the data to the cloud, where processing and all will take place. So ultimately, you are connected with the internet. If we'll take an example of another, let's say we have the appliances, let's say the AC, the fridge and all. If you want to connect these AC and fridge to the internet, how will do? First of all, we have to find out why we want to connect. Let's say we want to connect to monitor whether the AC is on or not, and what are the temperature of the AC, as well as we want to control AC. So we want to control and access. So the IoT has only two possibilities. We want to connect the physical object so that we can monitor. The second, we can access. And both we want to do remotely. Both we want to do remotely. It means that I am not with the object which I want to monitor. I am not with the object which we want to access. So you might have seen the AC. The AC is connected with your Wi-Fi in your home, let's say, and you'll get an application by which you can control the AC, by which you can on the AC, you can off the AC. You can see what the temperature it is having, right? So this is a simple example that I want to give you here. Just like that, we have the sensors into the car, into the automobile. And these car sensors are generating the data and sending again into the mobile phone or the system which is there in the car, which is having the internet connection. And this will send to the cloud for the further process, or even if it will do the processing locally. So generally, to connect anything or any object, we first required is the sensors so that we get the data. The actuator will be there, which will give the movement to the data. And then we have some sort of gateway node by which we can connect our thing or our object so that we get the internet connectivity and we can send the data to the cloud for the further processing, or we can do the processing inside the gateway also. So with the help of IoT platform can help organization to reduce costs through improved process efficiently, asset utilization and productivity should be increased here. With improved tracking and device object with sensors and connectivity, they can benefit from real-time insight and analytics, which will help them make smart decisions. The growth and convergence of data, process and things on the internet would make such connections more relevant and important, creating more opportunity for people, business and industry. So IoT is actually helping or making us convenient to monitor anything, to access anything remotely. So if we'll see what is the whole IoT system is, so a whole IoT system has these 5 components. The first component is called things or the devices, where actual devices are there, which is equipped with the sensor, and actuator. And these sensor and actuator are attached with a microcontroller or microprocessor, which is attached with the object, and they are generating the data. These generated data will be given to the gateway node. Gateway node is some sort of computing node which is connected with the internet and having the IP address. Because each and every node we cannot give the IP address, right? So we should have one gateway node, just like your smartwatch, and this is you assume as a mobile phone. So in the mobile phone we have the IP address. So through the wireless communication we get some data here in the gateway node. Gateway node will process some local data, as well as it will send the data to the cloud. In the cloud we do 2 things: we store the data as well as we process the data. For processing the data, we use some analytical tool like machine learning and AI tools, so that we can get some insight of the data and we can make the decision. These results and decision will be given to the user through the user interface. So any type of interface we can take, like web application, mobile application, messages, everything. So this is one way of communication that is possible. Another way that is called monitoring. Another way is with the help of those user interfaces, a user will access those data, those nodes or those things, those objects. So let's say it want to on the AC, right? So it will go to the application and it will click the button. The button will go, the command will go to the cloud. From the cloud, it will go to the gateway node, and from the gateway node, it will go to the proper appliances, and the actuator will act on it, and your AC will be on, or your, let's say the car will be on, your garage door will be open, your home door will be open. So anything could be done. So generally, the IoT will be used to monitor as well as access the object. Now, when we go for the integration of IoT and the blockchain, so generally, the blockchain is having specific work and IoT is having some specific work. So generally, IoT is used to generate the data, and blockchain will give us the whole architecture to store the data securely and to access the data securely by different access control mechanisms. So in that way, we can need to integrate the blockchain as well as IoT together. Now, these are the different applications of IoT. I don't have to talk about much, right? A smart home, wearable, smart city, smart grid, industrial Internet of Things, connected cars, which is an example of like Tesla and all. They're working on the autonomous car, so it is possible with this IoT application. Connected healthcare, smart retail, supply chain management, smart farming. There are many other applications also. So these are the different applications of IoT. Now, if you try to integrate the IoT with the blockchain, what are the different things will be given the benefit to the IoT? So the blockchain can enrich the IoT by providing a trust sharing service, which where information is reliable and can be trackable. So whatever information will be produced by the IoT would be, first of all, the whole IoT system will become the reliable, as well as it can be trackable and trusted service will be created. What are the other things that can bring on that? Like it will provide the decentralized and scalable system. It can provide the identity. It can give the autonomy to the devices or to any of the person or car or whatever object it is. It provides the reliability in terms of the data. It provides the security, as we know the term of immutability and all, access control policies, and secure code deployment could be possible with the help of the blockchain. Now there are different challenges also, which is restricting us to collaborate with the IoT and the blockchain. And those restrictions are this. First of all, storage capacity and scalability. Because we are using IoT devices, these IoT devices are very small devices, very tiny devices, which have the resource constraint. Resources means it doesn't have that much of memory. It doesn't have much processing capability. It doesn't have much communication capability. So how we can match those things with the blockchain, which is requiring those supercomputer, which is requiring those resource-rich peers, resource-rich node, right? So that is the challenge. Second challenge is the security aspect, not the blockchain, IoT. Because IoT, these are small devices, and whatever communication will be done through this node to the gateway node anybody can hack, because those are the tiny devices. So security is the concern at that particular time. Anonymity and data privacy is also an issue. That how the anonymity will be maintained of the object, living or non-living. How the privacy of the data would be there if we are talking about public ledger, right? So everything is public, right? So how this privacy will be maintained? We have the concept of a smart contract. I don't have to elaborate it much, but the smart contract will be used so that we can make the application, we can do the research of making the application into different blockchains like Ethereum. There are some legal issue related to the blockchain, that how we can adopt it, that has been maybe solved by the government in near future. And there is the problem with the consensus algorithm, because consensus algorithm, if it is taking 10 minutes to mine anything, so it is of no use in terms of IoT, right? So we have to thought of the consensus algorithm, which will take very less time, and it will be appropriate for these IoT devices where the possibility of resources are very less. So by taking all those challenges, many research has been already been conducted, and many research is going on. If you see some of the researches and the classification in which application they are doing, like IoT and blockchain applications. So here energy, microgrid, some are working on smart contract innovating IoT devices, selling is sharing a smart object, insurance network for IoT asset, investment in IoT devices, sharing airspace market for drone navigation, identity security and interoperability, identity data privacy and automation, data integrity and supply chain, sharing and machine economy, then secure connectivity between IoT devices. Different platform has been used. So these are different blockchain platform which exist. By using those, they have work on these areas. But as I told you, there are many challenges. So as a researcher, we have to go through those challenges and find out the solutions for it, so that many company will adopt this particular combination of IoT and the blockchain, because IoT has been adopted by many companies. Their work has been worked on the IoT network. So just like your smart city or smart grid or industrial Internet of Things, smart farming, smart agriculture, all those are different area where IoT works. So those areas where IoT works, can we take the help of the blockchain? So if we are taking the help of the blockchain, then these are the challenges that will be offered. So how to overcome those challenges? These are some challenges which I talked about, and we have different possibilities to it. To use the edge devices or fog computing technology on it. There are many consensus algorithms should be reduced. There are many other possibilities that we can explore. We can use the help of the machine learning or data sciences, or not the data sciences, machine learning and AI for reducing the work of this cryptography and all. So it will really help to integrate the IoT and the blockchain in future. So thank you very much. That's it from my side. If you have any queries, I'll try to give the answer to your queries. And I hope this particular presentation has given you some direction of your future research. If you're interested, you can work on that particular area, and you can always contact with me if you are interested in this particular area, because I'm working in this for last 3-4 years. So we have some acquire some knowledge on that particular area. So thank you again very much to the organizing body of this national conference, and thank you for inviting me in this particular occasion. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for your presentation about the integration of blockchain in IoT applications. Starting from the definition of the IoT, you have covered up to the applications. Thank you so much, sir. It will be useful for our students. Thank you, sir. It's our pleasure also for listening to you, sir. Again, in our future also, we will try to catch up, sir. Thank you. We cannot conclude any function without the vote of thanks. So for this, I request Dr. R.D. Thackeray, sir, for giving his vote of thanks. Please, sir.
Thank you, madam. Good afternoon, one and all present over here. Thank you is such a prayer that cannot be seen or touched. It must be felt by heart. I deem it great honor and privilege to propose vote of thanks on this occasion. I, on the behalf of organizing committee of National Conference, convey my deep regards and heartily thanks to our chief guest, Dr. Surah Sharma sir, who despite of his busy schedule has found time to grace this event. My sincere thanks to guest of honor, Dr. S.S. Sane sir. He guided us for organizing this conference. I am very much thankful to our principal sir, President of Function, Dr. G.V. Thackeray sir, for guide us continuously and motivate us to organize such a program for the student development. I am sincere thanks to our management for the regular support and the guidance. I would like to thank all the jury members for the different sections or the departments. I would like to thank all the heads of department, faculty members and committee members. They are continuously support us and guide us time to time. And big thank you to convener Dr. A.N. Thackeray sir, co-convener S.N. Dagarkar sir, Dr. Bode sir, the Professor A.R. Velekar sir, AD Gotmare sir, because of this tireless effort and continuous effort to make a very much thankful to dear participants, this keen interest shown in to participate in this conference. And lastly, I am thankful to all the faculty members, teaching and non-teaching staff. These are directly involved to success this event. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I request all the participants to attend their tracks respectively by joining the Google Meet, which was already provided in your WhatsApp. Thank you. So with the prior permission of the dignitaries, I would like to conclude this inaugural function is over. Thank you, sir. Thank you once again, our chief guest and also guest of honor for your presence, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.